when commitment was meant commitment and it was over and you had 6 months, and that's the easiest thing for a kid, is to make that commitment, know that he's good with it, and then just go on and enjoy his season and those kind of things. Those truly are the easiest ones. Justin Hilliard, in my opinion, had a great day today because he knew and he was set and he was solid and his life was easy and he can really celebrate. The kids who have that uncertainty are thrown into that turmoil the last couple of weeks. I think that's really hard. I think their true enjoyment of this process is going to come down the road a little bit. I think they're still, just kind of decompressing from what's going on the last 72 hours.
I know Coach Myers come out and he said he's not a real big fan of just the acceleration of the recruiting calendar. I mean, you kind of got to keep up with the Joneses. But from your perspective now, and maybe as a high school coach, where do you kind of come down on that? I mean, would you think maybe be better off if guys had a little more time to make decisions, or just what are your?
I think the hardest thing is that there's no early signing period, and kids can't, when they make a decision, they can't just be done with it. I think that would be easier if that was possible. I'm not the guy in charge of all that. The system that we have has been working for a long time. I do think the attention that it gets right now is extraordinary, and I think that adds to the pressure. There's a lot of folks that call kids that aren't connected with anybody, and there's just a lot of information that goes out there. I think that's hard for kids.
What about even evaluating young guys and having to make decisions on guys at an earlier age?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's hard to get them all right. When a kid's a freshman or sophomore in high school, it's hard. And I think that's our job, is to do all our research. And sometimes it's really hard to find the great 8th graders right now.
Describe your wildest travel day on the road.
Oh, man, I had some days now. I think right there toward the end, I know I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning where was I? 3 o'clock in the morning my last week, I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning in Columbus to drive to Indianapolis because the weather was really bad here. Fought the snow, saw a bunch of guys spin out, spent the day in Indianapolis, drove from Indy to Cincinnati, got to Cincinnati, got up at 3 in the morning the next day, flew to Atlanta, then to Valdosta, went from Valdosta to Fort Lauderdale, finished in Fort Lauderdale, flew to Detroit, was there overnight, and then the next day to Detroit to fly back here and do an official visit that weekend. Every week is like that. Coach Myers really clear. Finish your night in the airport, go take the last flight out, be in the first school that's open in the morning, and go. And that's what we do. And I think you got a staff full of guys that are really grinders when it comes to recruiting. And because of that, they're able to produce great classes. Recruiting is hard. You got to be present. You got to be out there. You got to be around. You got to be 24 hours a day between the Twitter and the phone calls and the communication with everybody that's involved. That's what it takes. And I think this is a staff full of guys that really do that well.
When you're caught in a snow delay, then, are you just going crazy? I mean,
you can't get caught in a snow delay. I mean, you got to be ahead of the game. You got to drive. I went to the airport and rented a Suburban because the car I had wasn't going to make it. And so you're going along, and that Suburban's a big car now, and I was good. But that's exactly it. If schools are closed, you better find another town to be in because you cannot. The calendar's too small. From the 15th of January till the 31st, there's no way you can get everywhere. And the only way to do it is to really plan your time and be on the move and be on the go.
Now that it's done, and Mike Weber is in the house.
Yeah, in the house.
What is the feeling you're feeling right now?
Euphoria.
Y'all went to battle.
Euphoria.
Y'all went to battle with the new staff.
Euphoria. I don't know another word for that, but it's really good. It's really good. It was really hard. I learned a lot of lessons here. They're going to be good. They're going to be challenging to recruit against, and so I learned some lessons here. I got taught some things, and you continue to learn as you go. And we're going to fight. We're going to scratch. We're going to battle. We're going to claw. But isn't that what it's all about? And at the end of the day, when you win that battle, that battle that took all that out of you, when you win it, what can be better? Just like the one we just won, January 12th or whatever that was. It took everything out of you, but you won. That's the way today feels.
Kerry, I want to ask about the corners. You got Arnett, the 5 guys you got there. Start with Arnett.
Long, fast, athletic, came to Friday Night Lights, competed his butt off. Going to be a great player for us. Really excited to have him.
Dean?
Jamel Dean is already here. He's already here again. Another long, fast, explosive guy.
Glover Williams, it seemed like you guys stayed with him through some ups and downs.
Yep.
You feel like you were going to be rewarded by doing that?
I absolutely do. I think that Eric has learned a lot of great lessons in this process. Had a great conversation with him about that even last night. And really excited to have a very explosive athlete out of the state of Ohio to come. And you know what Eric brings is swagger. And sometimes when you get swagger, you got some other issues that go along with it. And me and Eric are going to have fun with that along our journey. But he's going to be something.
How about Norwood? It seems like he's kind of a diamond in the rough guy out of Georgia.
Real diamond in the rough in an area that doesn't get overly recruited. I had not been to that school before. Found him while we were searching in the fall. Did a lot of work and investigation on him, and he continues to grow and grow and grow. Never went to a camp anywhere. That's why he doesn't have necessarily 5 stars, but you're going to be really, really happy with what you see out of Josh.
And Denzel Ward.
Fast. And a Division II Defensive Player of the Year, played on a very successful high school team, committed, going to come down here and pop some times that are going to be great, going to get bigger and stronger, but he's going to play a lot of ball for us.
Seems like they all play corner. Do they all project at corner, or any of them get a minute corner and then move them to safety? What's your inclination right now?
They're going to come in and compete at corner.
All 5 of those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We need fast, speed, long guys. We got great guys. It's a great position of need for us in the defense that we're playing right now. You got to have great corners that can play press man to man. Every one of these kids can do that. You cannot have too many corners. We know that about our system. We're going to be shorthanded in the spring and all those kind of things. These guys are going to come in and really make our team better.
Thanks.
What are the chances that some of these guys can play, maybe go to safety, guys like Ron Tanner, maybe Armani Reeves not being able to go? What are the chances these guys can step in at other positions and play just as much?
The first path for them to get on the field is to be special teams guys. That's one of the main reasons why we went out there and got them. They're guys that can run and play on every unit. The next thing they're going to do is learn how to play press man to man and go out there and function effectively in that spot. I do believe the nickel position should always be a corner because there's a lot of man-to-man coverage involved. So some of them are going to play nickel, and that's where we anticipate them playing.
Coach, you mentioned recruiting your